I'll never forget years ago when I was heavily on dating apps, and I was telling one of my coworkers that a guy who looked like Porky Pig liked my profile or something like that. And she was like, well, you gotta give people a chance, blase, blase, whoop-de-woo. So I ignored her and did whatever I wanted to. I wound up getting to know a guy who was attractive and going out with him, and he wound up being a loser. And I remember telling her this, and she said, well, I bet you wish you would have dated Porky Pig, huh?
Unfortunately for some of these women, they never really learn their lesson and they keep on repeating the same mistakes.
What's a bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Getting married. Getting married at a very young age.
Wow, why do you say that?
Because I feel like if I would have never gotten married at a very young age, I would have accomplished a lot more things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like what? Like as far as like school and stuff?
No, as far as like just financial decisions and being able to live my life the way that I wanted to, yeah.
Were you not living your life the way you wanted to in the marriage?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it was like a straight guy?
For sure. It was a team.
Yeah. Wait, you got married at 19?
Yes, how do you know? Oh my gosh.
You said teen.
Yeah, I was 19.
Damn, married at 19 is crazy. What, I guess, possessed you to do that?
Stability.
Stability? Stability's crazy.
He was in the military, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
Right. Wait, so he was in the military? That made you, like, be more inclined to dating him just because he was in the military? Are you into military guys? A little bit?
No, I'm not.
No?
No.
You're just, like, looking for a way out type?
At the time I was. I'm not gonna lie, at the time I was, yes. I grew up in a really...
Where'd you grow up?
Latin household. Mexican household. So it's like, my rules, you live here, my rules, and I wanted freedom. So,
okay.
Kind of saw a freedom way out. But
you wanted to get married too, though?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I really thought it was going to be like, let's do this forever. But obviously things happen. I got married at 19, and we just...
How long did that last?
Honestly, it lasted 5 years.
You had a good run?
Yeah, it was good.
You wouldn't do it again?
I actually want to get married again, absolutely.
How old are you?
Now I'm actually 29.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you find love one day again.
Yes, it's absolutely.
Alex in the comments said, so basically code word for, I want to be in the streets.
So I just found out the boy who likes me, who I don't like back, is finally moving on from me because I rejected him. Maybe I was kidding. Maybe I do like you now. Should go liking someone else.
We could have had it all. I don't know myself. I don't know myself. Who am I?
You rejected me.
I didn't reject you. God is my witness. The only thing I rejected was poverty.
I like this. Why? Like, why?
So I have a couple of questions that need answers, and I would love your support. I really do appreciate it. If you have any insight into what I'm talking about, please feel free. Put it in the comments because I really need some understanding. Ladies, why on this God's green earth would you possibly want to make somebody who you broke up with feel like... I don't know how to put this. I'm going to try to say it gently. Why would you want to make them feel like they ruined your life? Why would you want to make them feel like they put you underneath their shoe and twisted their foot or something just because it didn't work out? Why would you want to make them feel like the relationship just no longer means anything to you after about 48 hours? Like, why do y'all do this? And once again, I'm an accountable party. Always have been, always will be. I admit my wrongs and my faults every time. I wasn't a perfect person. Won't ever be, won't ever claim to be. But what I know for sure that I was good to you. Was good to you. But then when we break up, it's as if that never happened. Now I'm a best. Now I ain't. Now I'm all this and all that. You talking crazy about me. Why? I understand grief. I understand grief. I understand being upset. I understand dealing with the breakup the way that you dealing with the breakup. But you ain't gotta trash your boy. And then, after dragging my ass for blood through the mud, my boy, 72 hours later, you texted me about the price of gas in Tuscaloosa? Like, on the most random shit. What are we doing here? Explain it to me like I'm 5, babes. Like, literally break it down piece by piece, because I'm trying my best to get it, but it's not computing in this brain. I just need y'all support. And before any of y'all in my comments telling me to talk to the lady or my people about this, I already have. I'm here for giggles, so shut the fuck up.
These women don't respect you. They only respect their feelings. And I think this next clip is going to help you understand what a lot of men go through.
Women's core nature, like, this is what you have to understand about her core nature. Women's core nature is to be drawn to what is considered bad and bite from the forbidden fruit. Her core nature is to be drawn to what's bad, bite from the forbidden fruit, and even do this despite it hurting your emotions. Like, the biggest thing you have to understand and realize regarding female nature or hypergamy is she doesn't care. She doesn't care how this makes you feel, because ultimately what she's optimizing for at the end of the day is satisfying and appeasing her own emotions, because women will be most loyal to their own emotions. And how she feels is going to dictate majority of her decisions.
Quick question for us women. Why do we lie to each other? Why do we spread delusion amongst each other? I just want to know that. Like, I see sometimes in certain friend groups, or I see things like podcasts, or just certain women talking to each other in different places, even in person. It'll be a girl going through something, and you'll really hear like one of the friends just feed into the delusion and not tell her the truth about what she's going through with the man, or not keep it real about like just the circumstances that she's in. I need y'all to know that we be doing each other a disservice when we lie like that. When we tell these lies to each other and we don't keep it real with each other about certain things, and we try to make it seem like it's always on the man, or it's the man's fault that certain things are playing out the way they're playing out, we're doing each other a disservice. We have to help each other out and hold each other accountable. This is why, like, me personally, I don't have as many friends as I used to, because I was the one that would tell the truth. And people don't want to hear it. So I've drawn it back. I'm now that friend that doesn't offer any type of advice or information unless it's asked for, because sometimes my delivery could be off. However, the truth needs to be said, and we need to stop lying to each other. That's my 2 cents on that. Yeah, that's it.
As we heard in the previous clip, a lot of these ladies are beholden. They are tied, shackled to their emotion. Maybe even in some situations where they know they could do better and they could maybe follow a different path and be more disciplined, and they try to do that, their friends are going to come along and say, no, you were not only right, you were 100% right. I feel like this should be considered a form of gaslighting, to be honest.
Can I also talk about how I'm ovulating? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about our bodies? Genuinely, that is like the closest we get to being bewitched. Like that is the closest you get to turning into a werewolf. You know what I mean? Like you wake up and you like know it's different. You know what I mean?
Ovulating is just like a crazy
It
vibe.
feels like being tied to a chair. The part that feels like being tied to a chair though is that like it's the post ovulation like regret.
Right.
That I've learned now that I'm 25. You know what I'm saying? Like now that I have like beard and like it's like, you know. Like 19, you just run that like everybody's story, like get what y'all doing, like who want to go out this weekend.
But now that we're grown, it's like I put on my wizard cloak the week after, and I'm like, y'all.
No, I put it on literally the day before, and I chimed the bell. I like go into my room, and I'm like, don't come in here.
Don't come in here because I be talking crazy.
Because you'll come out bones. Like you won't even come out. Like you'll come in, and then you'll just be a pile of bones. Like literally.
Right.
If we want to be honest, because it don't matter your color, your creed. Like it's just like no.
Like if you slid up, you slid up.
if you slid up right now,
slide up. Well, actually,
don't slide up. Or slide up.
Or slide up.
Or slide up.
And it's crazy because you hear a lot of women talk about, I don't understand how a man could do this or how he could feel this way. And why are men like this? They want everything that walks around. And then you say, if you swipe up on my story, then you can get it. I have to lock myself in my room. I can't come out. But men get shamed for their drive.
Just a reminder, healthy people don't expect you to monitor their emotions. If something's wrong, if they're upset, they have no problem telling you, and in a way that's not going to attack you. But if someone expects you to read their mind and just understand what their emotions are, that mind reading stuff, that's emotional. Let me explain what I mean. I'm talking about when someone just expects you to know when they're mad, or gives you the silent treatment until you're begging at their feet to know what's wrong. That's not sensitivity, it's control. Your brain starts to become hypervigilant. You start to scan their facial expressions and try to pick up any little thing to let you know what's going on. So now you're in survival mode for something that's their problem. And the truth is, you're not their therapist. You're their hostage, if anything. Here's an example of something a healthy person would say when they were upset. I felt hurt when you did blank. Can we talk about it? They take space after communicating and then they own their own feelings. A toxic person is going to sit there and go, doing all that sighing and complaining and slamming doors and waiting for you to say, okay, what's wrong? They'll be distant from you and punish you for their unspoken expectation, which forces you into detective mode. And now you got to be Sherlock Holmes. I've both dated someone like that before and I've been that person before, to be fully transparent. And it took a lot of healing for me to do on my own to realize that that was not an effective way of communicating. And I'll never do it again because healthy love doesn't play hide and seek with feelings. Here's a couple tips you can take with you to help you if you're going through this. Pay attention to your nervous system. If you feel super anxious before seeing them, and I'm not talking about like a first date, I mean a person you've been with for a long time, that's your nervous system warning you that something is wrong. Number 2, call them out. Let them know, hey, I care about you, but I can't read minds. I need you to work with me. This will put them in a position to either be mature and talk about it, or let you know this is not the right person. Which leads to step number 3. Sometimes you just have to walk away. If they're weaponizing silence, expecting you to do all of this guesswork, leave. You deserve real, authentic communication and conversation, not conspiracies. Compassion isn't mind reading. Love isn't a guessing game. You don't need to negotiate your worth with someone that's already proven they don't respect it.
When you get used to not opening up your mouth and communicating, it leaves a lot of room for the gray area. They could think this, they say that. And there's some women out there, a lot of women out there that do this. If a man doesn't say something, if he's just sitting back, chilling out, and he doesn't say what you want him to say when you want him to say it, then you start spiraling. So why, if that's the case, do you want that man to have to follow you around and try to read your mind instead of just openly communicating?
Getting a train ran on me has honestly lost its appeal. Like, I used to love getting blown out by an entire friend group, but as of lately, I've been more into one-on-one quality time. I feel like when there's too many people, you lose out on the passion.
Do you think that men are more intimidated by your looks?
There's part of me that like loves it and hates it, but it would be nice if someone would come up to me, not say anything about my looks. Come with some banter. Don't come to me and be like, so your tattoos, I've always wanted to get one. Did they hurt? How many do you have?
Be creative.
But if a dude can make me laugh, that is like major point. So if you come with some like banter or even dance, you know, but like read the room kind of, you know, maybe they're more intimidated by my looks.
When is enough enough? Sing, tell jokes, dance, comedian, dancer. Can't just have a normal conversation.
I'm always either getting a video idea from either Instagram or TikTok, but this time it was TikTok, and there was a video response to a comment saying, insecure men will always hurt you. And that's not to say this is all men or every man is out to get you, but a lot of men, especially if he's emotionally immature or insecure, they will go out of their way to hurt you. It's like their mission. It might not always be conscious, but it's definitely there. It's like almost like they can't help but to sabotage a good thing. And no, it's nothing wrong because you're a good woman, so why wouldn't he want to be with you just because you're a good woman, or if you're a good man, again, whoever's listening, because it can also apply to both sides. I can sit here and be a good woman to you, but I might not be for you. However, that part doesn't really matter to an insecure man or an insecure woman. Insecure men go out of their way regardless how good you are, because it's almost like they want to humble you. It's like, how dare you be so good? How dare you treat me right? I didn't know how to self-soothe or love myself because I wasn't either raised like that or because of old hurt. And so I want to dump my hurt onto you and project by coming off as confident, but really I'm just hurting and I don't know how to express myself. So it's easy to bash you and be performative, like I don't like you or I don't need you, however you want to look at it, than to sit there and say, hey, I'm not where I should be self-esteem wise. And most of the time that's pride and ego. And for some may get it, but for most they will never get it, or at least admit it out loud. They might admit it to themselves when it's quiet in their inner thoughts, but I'd rather just sit there and keep it in my back pocket than to sit there and humble myself, take accountability, and express how I've done wrong to you. Then, I just let it ride. In their mind, it's like hell, time will heal all wounds. And yes, that's true to a certain degree, but sometimes time doesn't always heal. That pain is still there. You're just suppressing it. Well, they are suppressing it. A healthy person that wants to properly heal will acknowledge it, will sit through it, and go through those motions of pain or grief or however you want to look at it, versus them, it just keeps piling on and piling on and piling on. That's why they got to keep, pretty much being a leech to every host.
Well, there's a saying that hurt people hurt people. And I think a lot of times we forget that women try to humble men too, in terms of, oh, he's broke. Oh, he's not tall enough. Oh, he's not educated enough. Oh, he doesn't look good enough. They use these same things over and over again to try to bring a man down and put a man down when a man is at least as qualified or more qualified than she is.
When he asks you, do you have other people that you're talking to? Say yes. Please say yes. Stop saying no. Stop saying no thinking that in his mind, that's going to get you liked more. Because it's not. Saying that you don't talk to nobody does not get you liked more. That just lets him know that he don't have no competition. In his mind, he might think that he ain't got much to do. And you need to let him know, yeah, I do have other people that I'm talking to. I do have other people who I go on dates with. Yes, I am actively dating. And you could be a potential candidate. I'm not saying say it in a snobby way. Just have the mindset of I'm the one that does the choosing. I choose who I want to be with. You don't choose whether you want to be with me or not. Because when you sit around and you wait to be chosen, baby, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let him know you do have other people that you're talking to, other people that you are dating, so he can feel like he has some competition. Even if all that you do is go to work, come home, cook, clean, hang out with your friends from time to time, snuggle in your bed on your sofa watching Netflix, go to the gym, whether you have a basic life, that's perfectly fine. He does not need to know that. He does not need to know anything about your dating life until he becomes your person. Okay? Because when you are anxious and you are like, oh my God, I need to be chosen. Oh my God, I really like him. I want to be his girlfriend and all of this and that. And there's nothing wrong with liking him. There's nothing wrong with like seeing yourself with that person. But when you do it in a way of being desperate and trying to be liked, it don't get you nowhere. So when he asks you, do you have other people that you're talking to? Yeah. And I'll cut them off if it gets serious. You ain't got to say that. But like, just have that mindset. If things start picking up, things start getting serious, then yeah. I have no problem with doing that. But you the one, you do the choosing, not them. They don't choose you. You do the one that does the choosing.
There was a man in the comments that said, if I find this out, then I'm deleting your number immediately. A lot of these ladies out here continue to want to date, continue to want to move around sloppy. They don't know what they're doing. They decide, I'm going to get revenge. That's exactly what we heard from the lady that's lesbian at the front of the video. You want to continue to try to hurt the man, try to say, oh, I got the upper hand, I got the upper advantage, instead of just moving on and saying, well, maybe it just didn't work out. Maybe we just are not going on the same pathway. Some women continue to want to put a man underneath them. It's always these games. It's always, well, I got to get the upper, I got to do this. Don't do it. If you out here trying to waste my time, trying to make me step up and work harder, I'm not working harder for anything. I don't know you. We're here to get to know each other. If you want to play these types of well, just lie to him and tell him that you got something else going on. No. Hey, no, I'm not really talking to anybody. And if that man decides to play games, leave the man where he's at. It's that simple. But of course, that will require you to ask some critical thinking questions and do some mental work. Take on some of the mental load that y'all be saying that y'all be taking on in marriage and relationships. Where's that mental load during dating? Oh, that's right. Y'all give it all to the man.
Feminine energy this, masculine energy that. It's just patriarchy rebranded, babe. Like, get a grip. So I met with someone today and we basically talked about how the mindset that our parents' generation grew up with is making a comeback with absolute vengeance. Like, the way women are now encouraged to not work and just find a rich man to provide for them is so insane to me. And it's even more insane seeing women from South Asian backgrounds fall for this stupidity. As in, we come from a culture where this is the norm, where women are not encouraged to work, they're not encouraged to be independent, they get married and they stop working and they become, stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home mums, and that's their life. I think every single one of us can look into our own network, whether it be family or friends, and know a woman who's had to endure a horrific marriage because she cannot financially afford to leave. I myself know women whose husbands are chronic cheaters and they can't leave because they're financially bound. Women whose husbands have them black and blue, but they can't leave because they are financially bound. And so it's so bizarre to me that we come from this culture and we are suddenly romanticizing the same thing, but it's rebranded as being a feminine woman and finding a provider. Like, are you okay? And one of the craziest things about this entire thing is the women who sit and preach about becoming feminine and finding a high value man and attracting wealthy men and making them pay for everything are women who have businesses based on this brand. Like, they are making millions off your stupidity through sending you courses and coaching sessions and all this nonsense. Like, get a grip. You think they sit at home? You think they wait for their man to provide for them? No, these are business women. Okay, and what I'm not preaching is to chase men who have no money and will not help you out financially. No, but do not abandon yourself in the pursuit of wealthy men. Don't dress a particular way to impress a man. Don't pick up certain hobbies or hang out in certain cafes or present a particular way. Do your hair how you want to do your hair. Wear what you want to wear. Do the hobbies that you want to do, not for the sake of a man, bro. You should be audacious in yourself, audacious in your ambitions. Your dreams should like scare you. And you should get a kick out of that. Don't ever dim yourself or change yourself to fit what you think a particular man would want. That's silly. Your youth is with you once. Do not waste that in the pursuit of silly men. The reason I bring this up and the reason it relates to my sort of journey of self-actualization is because I found myself questioning everything I did. Like, is this something a feminine woman would do? Is this something a man, a high-value man would want me to do? Girl, just live. Just live. Your purpose is to live, not to find a high-value man. That should be the least of your concerns, girl.
Do you ever think that there's some things that aren't a part of the patriarchy? Maybe it's some of these ideals of some of these ladies that get in the workspace and they don't want to do any more work. Maybe they just decide, I want to live my life, as some of the content creators have said, on easy mode. And they want to use a man to do that. And then when they're done with that man, they want to leave him and move on to the next man. Have you ever thought that? But of course, it's always the man's fault.
I'm going to say the thing that you all just don't want to say. A lot of Afrobeats artists, men, are DL. And once you are American educated on how to spot DL men, and you start looking at all of them, you just realize Afrobeats only has 2 straight in it. 2. 1. I'm lying. None. I swear I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I be in my head this, they don't see it. And I really realize every time I go home to Nigeria and every time I meet all of them, and they just know that I know. They know that I know. And the thing about Africa is they're so aggressively masculine in the way that they present. It's worse than here. Here, being DL is it's hard, being on it. In Africa, them bitches haven't even started learning about DL. And it's crazy when you come from the Western world and you come from a developed world, a developed country, and you go home and start seeing that in Africa is where the DL men go high. The African DL men, lavender marriages are so prominent in Africa, but the bitch don't be known they in lavender marriages. They just think their husband is the ancient or cheating ass bitch. He's not, but most of them are in lavender marriages by themselves.
And once again, we have women who have an obsession. For some reason, I don't know where this came from. An obsession with men that they say are on the DL. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Maybe just because a man doesn't dress, talk, speak, move in the same way that you want him to, or the way you think it is, maybe he's not DL. Maybe he's just minding his own business. Thinking about a couple of clips actually, where women are making fun of men for talking to other men in the club. Why are men ignoring us? For making fun of other men dancing in the club. Clowning. The man was acting a fool. He wasn't dancing on anybody. He was just over there by his buddy, just dancing, just cutting loose, making fun of him. Oh, so this is what the men are doing nowadays. Leaving you alone like you asked? Yes, absolutely. Why instead of dancing, don't you come approach me? How about why instead of criticizing me, you get a life?
Somebody said it's not a male loneliness epidemic. It's a woman choosing better revolution. And for the longest while, I couldn't quite put my finger on it because you keep hearing about men being lonely. And I'm just whose fault is that? And at the same time, they're the ones that have been saying for the longest, choose better. We are actually doing that. I just think that, I don't know, this is what makes me question men's intelligence, because a lot of things just don't add up. I don't know how their collective brain cells did not come together and realize, we're not lonely. They're just choosing to take time from us because maybe we're not that great after all.
Honestly and truly, at this point, whatever you want to brand it as, it still does not make it true. Y'all be saying that men are out here lonely. Men need y'all. Men gotta have y'all. Oh, we can do it on our own. You guys need us for X, Y, and Z. No, I would rather stay single. I would rather be on a rooftop to be in a house with a contentious woman.
A lot of women would rather go for the guy that speaks perfectly rather than the guy that gets nervous and stutters and he's a bad first dater. But guys who are the bad first daters turn out to be the greatest life partners, and let me tell you why. I will tell you why. A man who is extremely perfect with what he says and he makes you feel top tier, he's talking to other women the same way. He's making other women feel the same way. That's why he's so good at it. What I'm trying to say is go for the guy who's less experienced. Because trust me, he will not leave you easily. But the guys who have been with many girls will leave you in a heartbeat because he thinks that he has other options. They're less forgiving. To work with me, one-on-one, it'll be in my bio.
So I finally got the courage to go up to my gym crush and asked if he had a girlfriend. But a little background story. Every time I go to the gym, like I see him, he sees me, we make eye contact. So I was like, you know what, if he doesn't make the move, then I'll make the move. So I finally did yesterday and I got freaking rejected. So I was waiting to see, I went to the gym and I was working out obviously and I just didn't see him or whatever. So I was like, I don't think he's coming today. So I was like, if he doesn't come, then it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant for me to ask for his number or whatever. But 30 minutes go by and keep in mind, I'm in the bars doing hip thrust and there's like a space next to me that's free. So boom, he gets there, bro. And he starts working out and I'm like, oh, so fine, I should ask for his number. So I'm like, okay, let me just do this last set and then go ask him if he has a girlfriend. Because I also don't want to be rude and just be like, hey, can I have your number? Because what if he does have a girlfriend, you know? Whatever. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, sorry to interrupt. I was like, do you have a girlfriend? And he's like, yeah, sorry. And I was like, it's okay. Anywho, I was just like, okay, it's fine. And then I was trying not to make it awkward. So I was like, trying to clean my area or whatever, left and went to go work out somewhere else. But then I spoke to my mom about the whole situation and she's like, well, you're freaking dumb because what if he was very shy and you just approached him with that question, hey, do you have a girlfriend? And his answer was to be like, yeah, you know? So now I'm like super overthinking this whole situation because I don't know if he was lying. And if he wasn't, if he does have a girlfriend, well, that's great because now I know that he's faithful and that he could have been a good one for me. But then, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, why does he keep, like, looking at me then? If I'm confused. So now I'm debating whether I should ask him for his Instagram and, like, try to be friends with him or whatever, like, before I go all the way in, you know? But then, like, I don't want to look freaking stupid, like, for the freaking second time. Like, hell no, I already got rejected once and I'm not trying to get rejected twice. So I need advice. I need help. What should I do? Should I go and ask again for his Instagram or something, like, so we can be friends first and then, like, we'll see? No, I don't know, bro.
I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist or an expert at anything, but maybe you should just leave him alone. I keep on hearing a lot of women out here say that no means no. But apparently no doesn't mean no when it's what some of you ladies want.
I just rejected a guy in Kroger and the security guard had to escort me outside for safety to my car. Story time. Real story. That just happened just now. I'm literally shaking. So if my word is mumbling, that's because I'm still trying to process what just happened to me. So I simply went to Kroger, minding my business, to go get some fruits and some veggies to prep my meal for me and my kids. And I noticed that there were two guys around just lurking. They really wasn't doing anything. But because I had my baby, my focus immediately start paying attention to their asses. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be judging people. They might just be doing their own thing, but I'm still going to keep an eye. It is sad that we have to do this as women, but again, your intuition is never wrong. So don't ignore it when you feel like something is up. So while I was minding my business, picking up my fruits and stuff with my baby in the cart, one of the guys just kept passing my cart. And I was like, okay, this is weird, but he was picking up some bananas. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're flapping. That's what I'm thinking. So as I left the fruit aisle to go pick up some yogurt, one of the guy pat me on my shoulder, and I turned around. And, well, I didn't know it was one of them, but when they pat me on my shoulder, I turned around and I noticed it was him. And I said, hi. And he said, hi. And he proceeded to ask me, where is the cocoa in the store? And I said, I don't know where is the cocoa. I don't know. And I was like, maybe you can ask somebody in the front. And he was like, so can I have your number? And I said, no, I'm sorry. You cannot have my number. And I started pushing my cart. And you know, when somebody pulled your shoulder, like, okay, you need to come back. I'm not done talking to you. That's exactly what he did. So I said, excuse me, you don't touch me like that. You don't do that. Like, that is very disrespectful. Don't touch me. So I immediately just forget about the yogurt and everything. And I start pushing the cart towards the register. He proceeded to follow me to the register, like close to the register. And I was like, dude, what do you want? And he was like, I'm just asking you for your number. So the other guy I saw coming towards us. And I was like, okay, this is not looking good. Let me just leave this inside of the grocery store and head to where the security guard is. So I told the security guard what was going on. And he was like, okay, I will escort you out in a minute. Just stay right here. So he walked up to the guys and he was like, I don't know what he asked them, but they started laughing. And it was like, look at this mother effing clown trying to question me. That's exactly what they said to the guy, the security. So the security was like, okay, let me escort you out. And he was like, do you want any grocery? I said, no, I don't want any grocery because I just want to go home with my kid because I have my baby. So while he was taking me to my car, the guys, they walked out the store as well, and they started yelling at the security guard. They started calling him out his name, and he was like, don't pay attention to them because if they come at me, I will be able to protect you and your kid. And I'm so grateful for that security because he didn't have to, but he did. I ended up being in the car safely, and I pulled off and I drove around a little bit before I had come straight home because I didn't want nobody to be following me because I don't know if they was following me or not. But my thing is, why is it so hard for men to take rejection? When a woman says no, why is it so hard for you to respect that? Respect when a woman tell you no. It's a reason why she said no. She's just not interested. And for her to feel unsafe because she said no, it's crazy. Like, what happened to respecting people's boundaries? What happened to respecting people, period? Why do I have to think about you taking my life because I said no? I just don't understand, y'all. So please, ladies, be safe out there. And men, start acting like men now, please. If a woman says no, respect that. Respect her no.
Well, I guess the thing is, going back to the conversation about men holding other men accountable, men know this. And men know that there are other men out there doing this type of weird stuff, behaving in this weird manner. This is almost criminal if it is not criminal already. And guess what men do? Exactly what the man did in this situation, the security guard. Okay, stay right here. Let me go do what? Talk to these fellas. And I'm going to come back and get you and escort you to your car. That's what he did. That's how the system is supposed to work. Y'all keep on talking about the patriarchy and how it's so terrible and yada, yada, yada. I get it. I understand it. Y'all keep on talking about men. They're trash. They're not chivalrous. They don't protect women. They don't provide for women anymore. I get it. I understand it. There are men, case in point, who will come up to you, put your hand on another woman's shoulder and say, hey, I'm not done talking to you, basically in so many words. That's not right. And men, a lot of men will say, man, yeah, that's not right. That's weird. You shouldn't be doing it. I know if somebody touched my mom, my daughter, my wife like that, bro, you got some troubles. Men would say that. But what y'all continue to do is push this narrative, oh, the dangers of rejecting men. No, it's the dangers of rejecting weirdos. It's the dangers of rejecting criminals. They're always going to be criminals. Here. You notice what happened, right? When you got scared, you went under the influence of the security guard. You went to him, hey, I'm having this problem. The security guard already had a plan. Stay over here, out of the way, out of danger. I'm going to go over here and talk to these guys. Went and talked to them. They said something weird. I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about what you guys got going on. I can protect you. And what did you do? stayed out of the way based on what a man said. Then he said, okay, come on with me. Oh, what about these guys? It doesn't matter. You're with me. Maybe we can zoom out and have that be a lesson for a lot of these young ladies. When we talk about holding other men accountable, he went over there, held them accountable, and said, now you're still under my influence and authority. Come on with me. Hey, I don't think that you should go on that girls trip because of X, Y, and Z. Hey, I don't know if your friends are trustworthy. I don't know if you can count on them, especially in these areas, especially in these situations. They're going to get you out here and get you in trouble. If not hurt, it's going to hurt your relationship. So I'd be careful. Then you don't want to be under his influence or control. Then you don't want to follow his direction. For a lot of these ladies, it's only when they get in danger. It's only when they're in the face of danger that they start to listen to a man. Other than that, I don't want to be bothered with a man. A man is trash. A man is terrible. He's silly. I don't want anything to do with him. And then the man is expected to, in all these situations, regardless of whether you like him or you trash him every single chance that you get, like you're doing right now and saying, oh, if you reject men, then this is what's going to happen. And men are in the comments like, I would never do this. And actually, if I didn't know this was going on, I might have jumped in and said, hey, bro, leave her alone. Had the police on the phone, went and got a security guard. I've seen instances where 3, 4, 5 men jump into action just like that. Rally around a young lady or somebody who's in need and then put those other guys that are acting silly off. But y'all will continue to say that men don't protect. Men don't hold other men accountable. Y'all will continue to lump men in one single solitary group when men say, no, I don't belong there. I'm with you. I'm on your side. It's because y'all don't care. You don't care nothing about y'all's feelings, nothing about anybody else except for y'all's feelings and emotions. Once again, I don't condone what they did. And I think you did what you're supposed to do in going and telling the security guard. But we need you to quit lumping in men with other men and recognize, hey, this man is on my side. Hey, this man is working for me. Hey, this man is on my team. It's not, well, it'd be the same thing as you going up to that man and saying, oh, you're trash too. You're garbage too. Oh, why do y'all do that? Do what? I just protected you. Yeah, but you're one in a million. No, I'm not. There's plenty of other men out there that will do the same thing for you. Stop being weird.